like the first Lara Croft in PlayStation 1 with them triangle titties.
There's the opening.
Lara, your father's gone. You can pick up where he left off. I see so much of him in you. Brilliant.
Hello, Sprout. If you're listening to this, then I must be dead. I found something. A tomb called the Mother of Death. If Trinity succeeds, our world is in danger. Promise me you will stop them.
I promise.
Michael!
Glenn!
What did we see today?
We saw Tomb Raider.
Wow. And, who's in this movie, Michael?
Alicia Vikander. That's how you pronounce it. The most tan Swedish person I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Dominic West. Walton Goggins. Daniel Wu from Nothing I've Seen. So how do I recognize him? What?
Now, can you give me the plot of this movie?
Yes, this film is about a young lass who has lost her father, who is a business owner but also an amateur archaeologist. And he disappears, and 7 years later, she finds clues as to where he went. So she follows to find him. And raid tombs.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
To be a little more frank, it's based off the newly rebooted Tomb Raider series that started in 2013 and is continuing. In fact, they literally just announced another Tomb Raider game as of the release of the Tomb Raider movie today. So that was cool to look up. I bet you're wondering, Glenn, or Michael, but not really Michael because he hasn't really played the first game. How close is it to the first game?
I haven't played any of the games, by the way.
Most of you know I'm like
Played Crash Bandicoot a lot when I was a kid.
they're pretty much the same thing.
Why haven't they done a live-action Crash Bandicoot?
They both eat apples. For the most part, they got most of the tones down of the 2013 game. They had to obviously change quite a few things to make it actual movie length instead of a video game length. Because like you said, like 2 minutes ago before we started recording, it's hard to make a 10-hour game into a 2-hour movie.
Which is normally why video game films don't translate as well as people would like them to.
Yeah. They did give a lot of nods to a lot of things that happened in the first game, like a whole plane scene, like crashing through trees scenes. There's like a pickaxe scene. There's just a lot of scenes to nod to the first game, like, hey, we at least tried to do this. But as far as the story went, it was basically the same plot. They just changed a lot of details about it.
I mean, I've never played the game, but I could tell that, like you said, tonal-wise, it was pretty similar. Again, don't know much of the details, but I even recognized some things in the movie. I was like, oh yeah, that's from the video game, even though I've never played the video game.
Basically, the one major flaw that I had with this movie is that, not that it went into, like, kind of a little bit of a different direction with tone-wise, or detail-wise, not tone-wise, is the fact that Lara Croft never really went to school to take up archaeology, which is literally basically her whole shtick.
Yeah.
And then later in this movie, she's like solving foreign language puzzles, ancient foreign language puzzles, left and right, where her father was basically, he's like, wow, you're better than me.
You know what they did? They took the plot of Creed about the child who lost a dad, didn't really know him well enough.
Yeah.
And didn't follow his footsteps, but then just kind of fell into his footsteps.
If only Michael B. Jordan was in this movie, though.
Michael B. Jordan.
That would have been a great movie.
Jordan.
This would have been a fantastic movie. So
yeah,
like yeah, for me that's like a huge thing because first off, you're not educated in this field of archaeology in the slightest, but she's like solving all these puzzles left and right. And I get it, like, oh, I'm the offspring of somebody who's also an archaeologist, so this is just gifted to me. But I don't know. Maybe you have a different quarrel with that. Maybe
I have a quarrel with any movie that depicts archaeology that not being hours and hours of just lightly brushing the same area of land. Because I wanted to be an archaeologist.
Sorry.
I don't really have a quarrel with that. I mean, it's obviously a movie that would be a really boring movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
So basically, to me, it was just this girl off the streets who was just living her life, and then next thing you know, boom, she can solve puzzles and tombs and stuff like this. That was a big thing that bothered me, considering that's literally Lara Croft's whole shtick.
Yeah. From a standpoint of not knowing anything about the game, it was an okay movie. I actually kind of had more fun making fun of it.
Oh, absolutely.
Not that there's a lot of things to make fun of. It's just
there
was
a
like
few
no one
things
sitting
to-
around us.
yeah.
There's a few other people in the theater, but they were sitting way back and we were sitting towards the front. So it was just kind of it was a good movie to kind of joke around in, and it wasn't bad, but it also like barely held my attention.
Yeah. I do want to say that when it comes to like her like physical performance, is like grunts and everything like that, I think she was like you like
I felt bad for her vocal cords.
definitely her vocal cords hurt me inside, but also you can like definitely feel like she was in pain just from her her vocal cords being in pain. I don't know.
I got nothing else.
You're
to
very
say.
hard to like review movies with when you're just okay with a movie.
I know,
Like the
that's
last
the thing.
one,
I don't
too.
have much to say when there's nothing to say.
Oh, here's the deal.
Yeah.
I've got a special watch here. And if you push this button,
When did you start always dressing like Marty McFly?
as the ancient Aztec warriors would say, fuck off. There's a little button here on my watch. Boop, boop, bam, ratings. There's see it, rent it, stream it, and skip it.
That's what they say.
What
Saw
would
'em
you
come
like
out of the
to,
watch.
what would you like to
I would just say stream it. It's really, like he said, I'm hard to review movies with when I'm just okay with it. And when I'm okay with it, I usually just say stream it.
Yeah.
I don't have anything spectacular to say about it. I don't have anything bad to say about it. It's just okay. So stream it.
Yeah, as far as I would say, we saw it in IMAX, which I'm always down to go see a movie in IMAX.
For sure.
It definitely didn't need to be seen in IMAX.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, like, just visual standpoints alone, it didn't really need to be seen in IMAX. Sounds, it's crazy to hear her voice screaming at you in IMAX speakers. I can't even try. I was going to try to replicate it, but I cannot even. I also don't feel like it's worth enough to rent. And if you're home and you see it on any streaming site, I would say this. Either watch somebody play the video game or play the video game yourself, because it is a very good game with very excellent action sequences and everything. And I feel like a lot of people would enjoy the game more than watching somebody play the game or just watching this movie in general. But if it came down to it and where you're like, oh, well, it's on Amazon right now, just, I see it, you know.
You mean stream it.
Yeah. But also, I'd rather tell you to play the video game, so do that.
You shouldn't have come here. But I'm glad that you did.
What do you know about my father?
Now I see the likeness, the recklessness.
Close the tomb once and for all. The fate of humanity is now in your hands.
I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna give up. I'm going harder. I'm up a Bible.
Bye, Baba.
Go work harder.
I wish I had
What?
triangle titties.
I'm gonna square the what? Angelina Jolie.